Let us discuss the next pattern of questions. Before discussing the next pattern of questions, first I will be explaining you the concept and then followed by questions based upon that. Now whatever the concept I am going to explain you, it's really important. Why? Because once if you learn this concept, you can solve 5 different pattern of questions based upon one single concept. Yes, if you learn this one concept, you can solve 5 different pattern of questions that are going to come from topic average in various competitive examinations. So what all you guys need to do is listen the class carefully. Once if your concept is clear, you can solve all these 5 different pattern of questions in fraction of seconds. So what are those 5 different pattern of questions? Observe here carefully. The 5 different pattern of questions we are going to cover in this concept are nothing but person joining, person leaving, person replace, batting average, bowling average. Actually, you are going to come across all these 5 different pattern of questions in examinations. You will have questions based upon person joining. You will have questions based upon person leaving. You will have questions based upon person replacement. You will have questions based upon batting average. You will have questions based upon bowling average. Now all these 5 different patterns can be solved using one single concept. So that is the reason this concept is really important. If you learn this one single concept, you can solve all these different pattern of questions that are going to come in examination. So what all you guys need to do is listen the class carefully. If you listen the class carefully and if you learn the concept, you can solve all these 5 different pattern of questions. Okay, I am going to explain you the concept with simple example. Observe here with simple example. The question is saying is the average of 6 numbers is 8. What is the 7th number so that average becomes 10? So I am going to explain the concept with this simple example. Okay, so it is saying that 6 numbers are there. 6 numbers average is how much? 6 numbers average is 8. And next it is said that what is the 7th number so that average becomes 10? So if 7th number is going to be added, then 7 numbers average is nothing but 10. They are asking us the question, what is this 7th number? Yes or no? We are supposed to say what is this 7th number. So 6 numbers average is 8. When one new number is added, then it is going to be average 10. For 6 numbers average is 8 and for 7 numbers average is 10. What is that 7th number? That was your question. Generally, if you need to do this question, how to calculate this? Generally, how to calculate this is 7 numbers average 10 means 7 numbers sum is how much? 7 numbers sum will be 7 into 10. Yes or no? If average is 10, then sum is nothing but 7 into 10. Similarly, 6 numbers average is 8. If 6 numbers average is 8, then sum is nothing but 6 into 8. Yes or no? So from these 7 numbers, we are going to subtract this 6 numbers sum. Then if you calculate this, 7 into 10 is nothing but 70 minus 6 into 8 is nothing but 48. So when you calculate this, answer for this is going to be 22. Yes or no? Which means the 7th number is going to be 22. So this is how we calculate it in a traditional way. But in examination point of view, we can't do all this calculation. And truly speaking, here the numbers are simple. That is the reason you are able to calculate it much faster. If the numbers are complicated, then calculation is becoming complicated. So how to avoid this calculation and make this concept clear and simple? Okay, so listen here carefully. I am going to explain you now in detail how to make this concept clear and simple. Just observe here. Now instead of doing all this calculation, what I am trying to do is, generally if you observe here, if I need to calculate it in a traditional way, I know I need to calculate in this way. 7 into 10 minus 6 into 8. This is how we calculate this. Yes or no? 7 into 10 minus 6 into 8. Now what I am trying to do is I am writing this 7. I am writing this 7 as 6 plus 1. Okay? And I am going to keep 10 in the same way. Similarly, I am going to keep 6 in the same way. And I am going to write this 8 as 10 minus 2. Okay, observe here carefully. Why am I writing in this way? You will understand it clearly after the conclusion of this. What I have done is I have written 7 as 6 plus 1. Similarly, I have written 8 as 10 minus 2, which means I am representing 7 in terms of 6 and I am representing 8 in terms of 10. Now, if you simplify this, what is going to happen? 6 into 10 plus 1 into 10 minus 6 into 10, yes or no? 6 into 10 plus 6 into 2. Now, this is your calculation, yes or no? If you observe here carefully, now this is minus 6 into 10 and this is plus 6 into 10. Both of them gets cancelled and finally you are left out with 1 into 10 plus 6 into 2. This is what you are left out finally. Yes or no? If you simplify this, you are going to get answer as 22, which is same as whatever the answer we got earlier. Then how to get these values directly from here without simplifying all this? Yes, how to get this? You need to observe here carefully. I am going to explain here how to get these values directly. In the question it is said that 6 numbers average is 8. When 7th number is added, then average is going to be 10. What is the 7th number? That is your question. Observe here carefully. Now what you need to do is like just to take left hand side difference. 6 and 7 difference is nothing but 1. But if you look here, 6 became 7, which means it is 1 more. As it is 1 more, you are taking it as plus. If it is less, you will take it as minus. If it is more, you will take it as plus. From 6, if I go to 7, it is incrementing by 1. So plus 1. Similarly, from 8, if I am going to 10, 8 and 10, it is going to be plus 2. Why? Because 8 became 10. So it is going to be 8 plus 2, that is nothing but 10. Now what you need to do is like simply observe here. Just what you need to do is like multiply left hand side number with right hand side bottom number. Okay, multiply left hand side difference with right hand side bottom number. Left hand side difference is plus 1. Now multiply this with right hand side bottom number. Now this is going to be 1 into 10. Yes or no? Similarly, next what you need to do is like multiply right hand side difference with left hand side top number. What? Multiply right hand side difference with left hand side top number. If you are going to multiply this, now this is going to be 6 into 2. Yes or no? Now observe this carefully. If you have observed this carefully, now this is same as whatever you got here. Look here, 1 into 10, 1 into 10. Similarly, 6 into 2, 6 into 2, which is same as exactly whatever we got here. So that is the reason what we will do is like, whenever you have questions in this way, you need not calculate all this calculation. Instead of doing all this calculation, we are trying to make calculation simple. For making calculation simple, what I have done is I am just taking left hand side difference and right hand side difference. And what I am doing, left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. Why? Because this is my right hand side, this is my left hand side. Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. So when you do that, then you will finally get the same answer whatever we got earlier. That is 10 plus 12, 22. Yes or no? So simply whatever you have to do is like, whenever you have questions based upon person joining or person leaving or person replacing or batting average or bowling average, you just follow this one simple single technique. If you follow this simple single technique, you can solve any questions based upon that. Yes or no? I will say you one more example. Just observe here carefully. Now, how this concept is relevant to person replacement or person leaving. Now let us example, the same question can be explained in terms of person leaving also. Now actually in this question it is said like 6 numbers average is 8. What is the 7th number? So that average becomes 10. Now can I say in this way? I can say it as 7 numbers average is 10. 7 numbers average is 10. Now if one number is going to be removed or if one number is deducted, then it is going to be 6 numbers. Then average is going to become 8. Now I can say what is the number that left or what is the number that was removed. I need to find. The same concept, whatever we have discussed here, the same concept you need to apply here. Just take the difference. Look here, left hand side difference is minus 1. Why? Because 7 is becoming 6. If 7 is becoming 6 means minus 1. Similarly, 10 is becoming 8. So minus 2. Now what you need to do? The same thing whatever I have explained here, the same thing you need to do. Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. So do the calculation. Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. So minus 1 into 8. Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. Minus 2 into 7. So if you are going to simplify this is going to be minus 8 minus 14, which is nothing but minus 22. But there is no negative value. So what you can do is like simply neglect this negative value. Simply neglect this negative value and you can say just positive number. Only for the final value you need to neglect, but not here. In this you need to take in the same way. If it is decreasing, you will take it as minus. If it is increasing, you will take it as plus. But for the final result, if you get a negative value, you can neglect that negative value. The reason is your answers are all in terms of positive values. So simply neglect the negative value and you can say answer is 22. Now if you observe here, whether the question is with respect to person joining or whether the question is with respect to person leaving, the concept and the trick both are going to be same. Yes or no? 6 numbers average is 8, 7 numbers average is 10. What is the 7th number? This is like person joining. In this, 7 numbers average is 10, 6 numbers average is 8. What is the 7th number? Now this is like person leaving. But whether it is person joining or person leaving, the concept is same. What is the concept? What we have done is simply we have taken left hand side difference, we have taken right hand side difference. Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. If you do this calculation, you are going to reach your final answer. And this calculation is pretty simple. You need not do anything and you not get confused here. Very, very, very simple. The same way you will come across person replacement, batting average and bowling average as well. I will discuss them in the next. Okay. Now we will solve questions based upon person joining. After that we will solve questions based upon person leaving. Just remember one single concept. Whatever the question it may be with respect to person joining or person leaving or person replacement or batting average or bowling average, remember one simple single technique. What is it? Take the difference. Take the difference. But don't forget, while taking the difference, if it is increasing, you need to take plus. If it is decreasing, you need to take minus. Sign is really, really important. So take left hand side difference, right hand side difference. Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. Right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. If you do this calculation, you are going to get the answer as early as possible. Okay. Now for this question, answer is 22. So this is what we have done. Left hand side difference is 1, 1 into 10 is like 10. Similarly, right hand side difference is like 2, 2 into 6 is 12. So 10 plus 12, it is nothing but 22. Okay. Let us look at the next question. Average age of 31 students is 11.5 years. If teacher age is included, average age is increased by 1. What is the age of teacher? We are asked to find the age of teacher. Very simple question. How many students are there initially? 31 students. For these 31 students, what is the average age? Average age is nothing but 11.5 years. Now, if teacher is included, now it is going to be 32%. Initially, we have 31 students. When teacher is included, it is going to be 32. And then what happened? Average is increased by 1. Average increased by 1 means initially it is 11.5. Now it is going to be 12.5. Now you are supposed to find what is the age of teacher. Yes or no? Very simple. Just follow the technique whatever I have told you earlier. Left hand side difference is plus 1. Right hand side difference is also plus 1. Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. 1 into 12.5, that is nothing but 12.5. Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. 1 into 31 is nothing but 31. So answer is nothing but 43.5. which means age of teacher is nothing but 43.5 years. Just as simple as that. But don't forget, signs are really important here. But finally, whether it is negative or positive sign, it's not important. But here the signs are important. If it is increasing, you will take it as plus. If it is decreasing, you will take it as minus. But finally, what you need is like simply left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. If you do the calculation, you can get the answers as early as possible. Okay. Let us look at the next question. The average age of 4 brothers is 12 years. If the age of their mother is also included, the average age is increased by 5 years. The age of the mother in years is. We are asked to find the age of mother. How many brothers are there? 4 brothers are there. Now these 4 brothers average age is how many years? 4 brothers average age is 12 years. Now it is saying if their age of mother is included. If mother is included means 1% extra. 1% extra means 5%. If mother's age is included, then average increased by 5 years. Increased by 5 years means initially it is 12. When it is increased by 5, now new average is going to be 17. Now your question is what? Your question is to find what is the age of mother. Mother's age is what? This is your question. Okay. Now what you will do? Simply take the difference. 4 and 5. Difference is how much? Difference is like plus 1. Now simply what you do is like left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number, that is 1 into 17, that is 17. Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number, 5 into 4, that is nothing but 20. So we can say that mother's age is nothing but 37 years. Yes or no? Very simple. Just you can mark it as 37 years. Just what you have done is left hand side difference, right hand side difference. Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number, 1 into 17, that is 17. Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number, 5 into 4, that is 20. 17 plus 20, it is going to be 37. So mother's age is 37 years. Okay. Let us look at the next question. 5 years ago, the average age of A, B, C and D was 45 years. So this is when? This is 5 years ago. 5 years ago, 45 years. With E joining them now means present. With E joining them now, the average age of all the 5 is 49 years. How old is E? That is your question. Look here, initially how many persons are there? A, B, C, D. So initially we have 4 persons. 4 persons average age is how much? 4 persons average age is 45 years. When? This is really important. Now many of the guys make a mistake here. This is really important. Observe here. Now 4 persons average age is 45 years. When it is 5 years back. Yes or no? When it is 5 years back. 5 years ago, their average age is 45. Now you need to know what is the present average. Present average is nothing but 50 years. Why? Because 4 years ago, 45 years, 5 years ago, 45 years means now each of them will be increased by 5 years, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. Now their new average is going to be for these 4 persons, that is nothing but 50 years. Yes or no? Is everything clear with this? 5 years ago, 4 persons average 45. 5 years ago, 45 means present. Present it is going to be 50 years. And it is saying that now means present. One new person joined. New person joined means it is going to be 5%. When new person joined, then what happened to average? Average of all the 5 persons is nothing but 49. Now your question is, how old is E? Now E is nothing but the new person. Now we are supposed to find the value of E. Just simple, calculate it. 4 and 5, difference is nothing but 1. As it is decreasing, now this is going to be minus 1. Similarly, 50 and 49, difference is 1. As it is decreasing, minus 1. So calculate it. Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. 49 into minus 1 is nothing but minus 49. Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. Minus 1 into 4 is nothing but minus 4. So when you calculate this, it is going to be, sorry, just observe here carefully once. I have done a mistake here. This is 4 becoming 5, which is like plus 1. Yes or no? Now 4 becoming 5 is like plus 1. This is 50 becoming 49, which is nothing but minus 1. So what you will do? Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number, plus 1 into 49 is nothing but plus 49. Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number, minus 1 into 4 is nothing but minus 4. So we can say that the age of E is going to be 45 years. Yes or no? Which is like option 3. Just very simple. Take left hand side difference, take right hand side difference. But sign is really important. Don't forget that. If you're making mistake in the sign, ultimately you're going to get a wrong answer. So sign is really important. So left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number, right hand side difference multiplied with the left hand side top number. So finally you got answer as 45 years. Okay. Next question. The average weight of 12 parcels is 1.8 kg. Addition of another new parcel reduces the average weight by 50 grams. What is the weight of the new parcel? So we are supposed to find the weight of new parcel. In this question, if you have observed, initially it was given in terms of kgs, but later it was given in terms of grams. So that is reason you need to read the question carefully. Okay. Initially, how many parcels are there? Initially you have 12 parcels. Now these 12 parcels average weight is how much? 1.8 kg. When new parcel is added, now it is going to be total 13 parcels. Then what happened to average weight? Average weight is reduced, it seems. Reduced by how many grams? Reduced by 50 grams. Yes or no? Now look here, this is in terms of kg and this is in terms of grams. So what I am trying to do is like, I am trying to convert this kg in terms of grams. Now 1.8 kg is same as 1800 grams. Yes or no? So what I have done is I have written this kgs in terms of grams. Now 1800 grams, if 50 grams is going to reduce, then it is going to be 1750. Yes or no? Now your question is to find what is the weight of the new parcel. New parcel is nothing but 13th parcel is nothing but the new parcel. Follow the technique whatever I have told you. Left hand side difference. What is left hand side difference? Left hand side difference is nothing but plus 1. When you look at right hand side difference is nothing but minus 15. Now what I have told you, left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. Now 1 into 1750 is nothing but 1750. Yes or no? Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. Right hand side difference is minus 50 multiplied with left hand side top number. 50 into 12 is 600. As it is minus, so it is going to be minus 600. Now when you are going to calculate this, it is going to be 1150 grams. Yes or no? Now 1150 grams is same as how much? 1150 grams is same as 1.15 kg. Yes or no? So what is the answer for this question? 1.15 kg. Okay, very simple. Just what I have done is I have converted this kgs in terms of grams. Reason, the question here it was given in terms of grams, and anyway you know that 1 kg is nothing but 1000 grams. Yes or no? As 1 kg is nothing but 1000 grams. Now your answer is like 1150 grams. 1150 grams is nothing but 1.15 kg. Okay. Let us look at the next question. 3 years ago, the average age of a family of 5 members was 17 years. A baby having been born, the average age of the family is the same today. The present age of the baby is. We are asked to find what is the present age of baby. Now even this is like good question. Read the question clearly, then solving this question will become really simple. Initially, how many persons are there? Initially, in a family, there are 5 members. And it was said 3 years ago, their average age is 17 years. 3 years ago, 17 means what is the present age? Present average is going to be 20 years. Yes or no? So that is reason 15 members average age is going to be 20 years. Reason is 3 years ago 17. If 3 years ago 17 means now present it is going to be everyone will increase by 3 years, 3 years, 3 years, 3 years. Now it is going to be 17 plus 3, 20 years. So average age of 5 members now is 20 years. Now what happened? New baby was born. When baby was born, in that family, number of persons is going to be 6 persons. When new baby was born, the average of the family is same. Same, the meaning is whatever that was mentioned here, now it is going to be the same, it seems. Initially it was 17 years. Even after the baby was born, again the average age is nothing but 17 years it seems. Now your question is to find what is the age of that baby. Yes or no? Your question is to find what is the age of that baby. Very simple. Just observe here carefully. Whatever I have told you, left hand side difference is +1. Similarly, right hand side difference is -3. Now what you need to do? Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. So 1 into 17 is nothing but 17. Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. -3 into 5 is nothing but -15. So 17 minus 15. So we can say that age of baby is 2 years. Very, very simple question. But what happened is, many of the guys does not understand the question clearly, so that they try to commit a mistake. But if you are able to understand question clearly, then solving this question will become really, really simple. Okay? Just the thing is like, read the question clearly. If read the question clearly, it is said that 3 years ago 17. 3 years ago 17 means now it should be 20 years. So 5% average age is 20 years. When baby was born, average age is same as before. Same as before means initially it was 17 years, even now it is like 17 years. When you calculate that, then you will come to know what is the age of baby. Okay? Next question. Now whatever the questions we are discussing, all these are nothing but questions that was asked in previous bank examinations, previous SSC examinations, previous defense examinations, previous CAT examinations. We are trying to cover all these different pattern of questions. Now what all you guys need to do is like, you have to learn the concept and you have to practice it well. When you're going to practice them well, then obviously you can solve these questions very easily. Practice is really, really important to crack any government jobs. Okay? When the average age of a husband and wife and their son was 42 years, the son got married and a child was born just 1 year after the marriage. When child turned to be 5 years, then the average age of family became 36 years. What was the age of daughter-in-law at the time of marriage? We are supposed to find the age of daughter-in-law at the time of marriage. Now this is like very good question. Read the question clearly. Now initially it is saying like there are 3 persons: husband, wife, son. Yes or no? 3 persons. Now these 3 persons average age is how much? Average age is 42 years. Now what happened? Their son got married and after 1 year child was born, and now the child age is 5 years. Which means total 1 plus 5, 6 years was completed. Yes or no? If 6 years was completed, then these 3 persons average age should be 42 plus 6, 48 years. Why? Because 6 years are completed. As 6 years are completed, now 42 plus 6, these 3 persons average age will be 48 years. Now who are those 3 persons? 3 persons are husband, wife and their son. Now what happened? In this family, 2 more new persons joined. Now who are those 2 persons? Other than husband, wife, son, now 2 persons are daughter-in-law and child. Now all these 5 persons combined together, what is the average age? Average age is like 36 years. Now they are asking us what is the age of daughter-in-law at the time of marriage. Okay, let us look at that. Very simple. Look here carefully. Now this is like 3 and this is 5. So difference is like plus 2. Similarly, this is 48, this is 36. Difference is like minus 12. Now you are going to calculate this. Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. 36 into 2, that is nothing but 72. Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. 12 into 3 is 36. As it is minus, so that is going to be minus 36. Now this is 72 minus 36, which is 36. Now what is this 36? This 36 is nothing but sum of ages of daughter-in-law and child. Yes or no? Why? Because here you have 3 persons, here you have 5 persons. Now difference is like 2 persons. Now who are those 2 persons? Those 2 persons are daughter-in-law and child. So daughter-in-law and child combined together 36 years. Yes or no? If daughter-in-law and child combined together 36 years means daughter-in-law plus child is 36 years. Already we know that child is how many years old? 5 years old, which means I can say that daughter-in-law is 31 years now. Yes or no? Daughter-in-law is 31 years. Why? Because the child is already 5 years. If child is 5 years, then daughter-in-law is going to be 36 minus 5, 31 years. But what is your question? Your question is to find what is the age of daughter-in-law at the time of marriage. Now look here, when she was married, it's almost 6 years back. Yes or no? 6 years back. So it is reason 31 minus 6. You can say that the age of daughter-in-law is nothing but how much? 25 years. Okay. So we can say that age of daughter-in-law is 25 years. Very, very simple question. But the only thing is like you need to understand the question clearly. If you're able to understand the question clearly, then solving this question will become simple. I am going to explain you one more time. Listen here carefully. 3 persons average age is 42 years. Now these 3 persons are husband, wife, son. Now their son got married and after 1 year child was born, and now the child age is 5 years, which means total 1 plus 5, 6 years completed. As 6 years are completed, now these 3 persons average age is going to be 42 plus 6, 48 years. And it is said that now all the 5 persons combined together, average age is 36 years. Now when you calculate, you are going to come across daughter-in-law plus child age is 36 years. Now your question is to find what is the age of daughter-in-law at the time of marriage. At the time of marriage, daughter-in-law age is going to be 31 minus 6, which is 25 years. Let us look at the next one. The average age of 24 students is 15.5 years. The age of the teacher is 24 years more than the average age of all the students and teacher. What is the age of teacher? We are supposed to find the age of teacher. So how many students are there? 24 students. Now these 24 students average age is how many years? 15.5 years. When teacher is included, which means this 24 students plus teacher, then what happened? Then what is the average? That is not mentioned. Yes or no? What is the average? Not mentioned. But it is said that the age of the teacher is 24 years more. 24 years more than the average age of all the students and teacher. Now look here, if average age of all the students and teacher is X, then it is saying that teacher age is 24 years more, 24 years more than the average age of teacher and student combined together. Now your question is to find what is the age of teacher. Teacher age is how much? Now look here, this is a very simple question. Don't try to do calculation and all. If you are going to do all the calculation, then again you are going to end up with waste of time. So simply if you have observed the question clearly and if you know the concept of equal distribution, then you can solve this question very easily. Observe here carefully. 24 students average age is how much? 15.5 years. Yes or no? And it is said that 24 students and a teacher average age, let us say X. If it is X, then it is saying that teacher age is how much more? 24 more than the average age of students and teacher combined together. Which means if you have observed here carefully, now teacher is having 24 more than the average. 24 more than the average. Now if you observe here, if you know the concept of equal distribution, whatever I am getting more or whatever I am going to get less, it has to be distributed equally. Yes or no? Now I got how much more? 24 more. Which means the teacher is having 24 more. As teacher is having 24 more, now what teacher has to do? Teacher has to distribute to all the students. Yes or no? If teacher is going to distribute to all the students, total students are how many? 24 students. Yes or no? For these 24 students, if you are going to distribute this 24, then each of them is going to get 1 extra. Yes or no? If each of them is getting 1 extra, if you look here, 24 students average age is 15.5. Now if each of them get 1 extra, now it is going to be plus 1, which means the value of X is nothing but 15.5 plus 1, which is nothing but 16.5. That's it. Which means the average age of 24 students and teacher is 16.5. Now what is your question? Your question is to find the age of teacher. Now age of teacher is nothing but x plus 24. Value of x is nothing but 16.5. So 16.5 plus 24. So we can say that age of teacher is going to be how much? 40.5. Yes or no? So age of teacher is going to be 40.5, which is fourth option. Very simple. Just try to use your common sense. If you use your common sense, solving this question will become very simple. In the question it is said like 24 students average age is 15.5 years. Yes or no? If 24 students average age is 15.45 years, when teacher is included, teacher is going to have 24 years more than the average age of 24 students and teacher. Which means if 24 students and teacher average age is x, then teacher's age should be x plus 24, which is 24 more than the average. Now if you observe here, as teacher is having 24 more than the average, now this 24 has to be distributed for all the remaining students. So all the remaining students means remaining students are 24 students. Now this 24 distributed to 24 students, now each of them will get 1 extra. If each of them is getting 1 extra, initial average is 15.5. Now new average is going to be 15.5 plus 1, which is going to be 16.5. So average age of students and teacher is 16.5 years, and anyway you know that teacher is 24 years extra than the average. So teacher's age is going to be 16.5 plus 24, which is going to be 40.5 years. Very good question. Okay. Let us look at the next one. The average of 18 numbers is 37.5. If 6 numbers of average x are added to them, then the average of all the numbers increased by 1. The value of x. We are supposed to find what is the value of x. Now even this like very simple question, observe here carefully. Total how many numbers you have initially? 18 numbers. Now this 18 numbers average is how much? 37.5. Now what happened? For this extra 6 numbers of average x is added. Then what happened? Then average of all the numbers increased by 1. Now if I add 6 numbers extra, 18 plus 6, it is going to be 24. Now for these 24 numbers, what happened? Average increased by 1. Average increased by 1 means initially average is 37.5. Now average is going to be 38.5. Yes or no? Now they are asking what is the value of x, which means we are supposed to find average of those 6 numbers. That is nothing but x. Very simple. Go with the technique whatever I have discussed to you earlier. Left hand side difference. Left hand side difference is plus 6. Right hand side difference is plus 1. So left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. Now this is going to be 38.5 into 6. Yes or no? 38.5 into 6. Plus right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number, which is 1 into 18, that is 18, which means this is nothing but sum of 6 numbers. Yes or no? We have a difference of 6 numbers, that is the reason this is sum of 6 numbers. But your question is to find average of those 6 numbers. As a reason, x is nothing but average of those 6 numbers. We are supposed to find average of the 6 numbers. That is the reason divided by 6. When you divide it by 6, then what happens? Look here, 6 in 6 cancels for 1 time. Similarly, 18 cancels in 6 how many times? 3 times. So we can say that 38.5 plus 3, which is nothing but 41.5, which means the value of x is nothing but 41.5. Very, very simple question. Just follow the technique whatever we have discussed earlier. If you follow the same technique, you can get the answer in just fraction of seconds. That's it. Nothing more than that. Okay. So what we have done is simply 18 numbers average 37.5. When 6 numbers of average x is added, then average is increased by 1. So when 6 numbers are added, total numbers will be 18 plus 6, 24, and average is going to be increased by 1. So that is the reason new average will be 38.5. So when you calculate this, you are going to get sum of those 6 numbers. But we need to calculate average, so divide by 6. When you calculate it, it is going to be 41.5. Either you can solve in this way or you can solve this question directly as well. Now if you observe here, total 24 numbers average is how much? Total 24 numbers average is nothing but 38.5. Yes or no? But our question is to find what is the value of x. Now if you look here, in this 24 numbers, already I have my 6 numbers. So we can say that total numbers average is 38.5, which means those 6 numbers are also 38.5, 38.5, 38.5. Yes. But what happened after adding the 6 numbers, average increased by 1. Average increased by 1 means each and every number is increased by 1. So how many such numbers are there? 18 numbers are there. So 18 into 1, I am getting 18 extra. As I am getting 18 extra, so this 18 also belong to those 6 numbers. Now this 18 has to be distributed for all the 6 numbers. So 18 distributed for all the 6 numbers, 18 cancels in 6 3 times. So we can say that the value of x is nothing but 38.5 plus 3, which is same as again 41.5. Okay. So here I am using just the concept of equal distribution. If we use the concept of equal distribution, average is 38.5 and I am getting 18 extra. Now this 18 has to be distributed for all the 6%. Then you will come to know what is the value of x. Now this is nothing but the technique whatever we have discussed earlier. Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. Okay. Let us look at the next one. The average weight of 40 children of a class is 36.2 kg. When 3 more children with weights 42.3 kg, 39.7 kg, 39.5 kg join the class, the average weight of the 43 children in the class is. Now we are supposed to find the average weight of total 43 children. Initially how many children are there? 40 children. Now this 40 children average weight is how much? 36.2 kg. Now what happened? 3 children are added. When 3 children are added whose weights are 42.3 kg and another child is 39.7 kg and another one is like 39.5 kg. When 3 more children are added to the class, then what is the age of total 43 children? Now this was your question. Now look here, as we know that average is nothing but equal distribution, initially 40 children average is 36.2. If initial average is 36.2, now each and every new child also should be 36.2, 36.2, 36.2. Yes or no? Let us cross check. If you observe here, this is 42.3, which is more than 36.2. Yes or no? How much more? Now this is 6.1 more. Yes or no? Similarly, if you look here, 39.7 is also more than 36.2. How much more? It is 3.5 more. Yes or no? Similarly, if we observe here, 39.5 is also more than 36.2. How much more than? It is 3.3 more than 36.2. Yes or no? If we observe here, now this is 6.1 more, this is 3.5 more, this is 3.3 more. So overall if you add 6 plus 3 plus 3 is nothing but 12. So 0.1, 0.5, 0.3 is nothing but 0.9, which is going to be total 12.9 extra. As I am getting this 12.9 extra, now this 12.9 has to be distributed for all of them equally. Yes or no? Now this 12.9 has to be distributed for all of them equally. So all of them means total how many are there now? After joining of 3 new children, total we have 43 children. Now this 12.9 has to be distributed for 43 children. Now it get cancelled for how many times? 0.3 times, which means average is going to increase by 0.3. If average increases by 0.3, initial average is 36.2. Now new average is going to be 0.3 more, which is going to be 36.5 kg. Yes or no? So answer is nothing but 36.5 kg, which is option 2. Very simple. Just what I have done is equal distribution. If you use the concept of equal distribution, this is 6.1 more, this is 3.5 more, this is 3.3 more. When you add all of them, it is 12.9 extra. Now this 12.9 extra has to be distributed for all the children. All the children means total 43 children. Then each child is going to increase by 0.3. The new average is going to be how much? 36.5. Let us look at the next one. The average weight of the students in a group of 75 is 75.4 kg. So there are like some group of children whose average weight is 75.4 kg. Later on, 4 students having weights 72.9 kg, 73.8 kg, 79.4 kg, 87.4 kg joined the group. As a result, the average weight of all the students in the group increased by 240 grams. Look here, there it is in terms of kg, here it is in terms of grams. So be careful. What was the number of students in the group initially? Initially, how many persons are there? Look here, initially if you observe here, initially if there are n persons, now what happened? Now 4 persons extra joined. Now 4 persons extra joined means now this is n plus 4. But your question is to find initially how many children are there, which means you are supposed to say the value of n but not n plus 4. Okay, let us calculate. So initially average of group of persons is how much? 75.4. This is nothing but initial average. Now 4 new children are joining. So 4 new children, one person is like 72.9. and another person is like 73.8 and another person is like 79.5 and another person is like 87.4. Now let us check whether these persons are like more or less than the average. This is our actual average. Whether it is like more or less, just cross check it. Now this is 72.9 but this is 75.4. Now if you observe here, if this is, what is the difference between these two? Difference between these two is like 2.5 difference. Now if you look at this is 2.5 less, so minus 2.5. Similarly, if you look here, this is 73.8, this is 75.4. Now even this is like less. How much less means? Now if it is like 0.2, it is going to be 4. Here you have 1.4. 1.4 plus 0.2, it is going to be 1.6 less. Yes or no? So minus 1.6. Now this is also less. If you look at this one, this is like more. How much more? Now this is like plus 4.1 more. Reason is this is 79.5 but this is only 75.4. Now this value is like more. How much more means? 4.1 more. Now if you look at this one, this is 87.4 but this is 75.4. Now this is more. How much more? This is like 12 more. Okay. Now try to balance the equation. If you balance the equation, now this is minus 2.5, this is minus 1.6. Minus 2.5 minus 1.6 nothing but plus 4.1. Now this is minus 4.1, this is plus 4.1. Both of them gets cancelled. If both of them gets cancelled, finally you are left with 12 extra. Yes or no? Now this 12 has to be distributed for all the persons. Now if 12 has to be distributed for all the persons, it is said in the question clearly, due to this extra, what happened? It seems average increased by 240 grams. Now 240 grams is nothing but 0.24. Yes or no? 240 grams is like 0.24. So divide by 0.24. Why? Because now it is increased by 0.24 kg. Now for this 12 extra increased by 0.24 kg means total how many persons are there? Means 50 persons are there. So total 50 persons are there when means after joining of these 4 persons, which means n plus 4 value is nothing but 50. But our question is to find what is the value of n. N value is nothing but 50 minus 4, that is nothing but 46. Yes or no? So how many persons are there initially? Means initially we have total 46 persons, which is option 1. Okay, very good question. Just use the concept of equal distribution. If you use the concept of equal distribution, here I got 2.5 less, here I got 1.6 less, here I got 4.1 more, here I got 12 extra. When you balance this, I am getting total 12 extra. Now this 12 extra, what happened? Average is increased by 240 grams. 240 grams is same as 0.24 kg. Yes or no? That is the reason 12 by 0.24, it is nothing but 50. Which means number of persons are going to be 50. If number of persons are 50 initially, if number of persons are 50 now, after joining of 4 students, your question is to find how many children are there initially. Initially how many are there means n plus 4 is 50, then n is going to be 46. Okay. Let us look at the next question. The average age of 40 students of a class is 15 years. When 10 new students are admitted, the average is increased by 0.2 years. The average age of new students. We are supposed to find the average age of new students. So new students means how many new students are there? 10 new students. So we are supposed to find average of these 10 persons. Okay. Let us look at this. Initially you have 40 students. Now this 40 students average is how much? 15 years. Okay. When 10 new students are joined. So 10 new students joined means 40 plus 10, it is going to be 50. Now this for 50 students, average what happened? Increased by 0.2. Increased by 0.2 means initially it is 15 years. Now it is going to be 15.2 years. Okay. Now your question is to find what is the average of these 10 new students. Simple, calculate this. Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. So 10 into 15.2, which is nothing but 152, plus right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side bottom number. 0.2 into 40. 0.2 into 40 is nothing but 8. Yes or no? Which means this is nothing but sum of 10 students. Sum of 10 students. Sum of 10 students is going to be how much? 180. But our question is to find average. Yes or no? As our question is to find average, now 152 plus 8 is nothing but 160. So 160 by 10, we can say that average is going to be 16 years. Okay. So answer for this question is like 16 years. Very simple. Just use the concept. Whatever we have discussed earlier, we'll come to know that sum of 10 students is nothing but 152 plus 8. That is nothing but 160. If sum is 160, average you need to calculate 160 by 10. That is nothing but 16 years. Let us look at next question. The average of the age of 15 students in a class is 19 years. When 5 new students are admitted to the class, the average age of the class becomes 18.5 years. What is the average age of the 5 new admitted students? We are supposed to find the average of 5 new admitted students. How many students are there initially? 15. Okay. Now for these 15 students, what is the average? Average is like 19 years. When 5 new students are admitted, 5 new students are admitted means total it is going to be 20 students. Now for these 20 students, what happened? Average age of the class becomes 18.5 years. Now average age of the class is going to be 18.5 years. Now your question is to find 5 new admitted students, average is how much? Simple, calculate this left hand side difference. What is left hand side difference? Left hand side difference is nothing but plus 5. Similarly, right hand side difference is how much? 0.5. Now this is minus 0.5, be careful, minus 0.5. Now calculate this. What I have told you, left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. Now don't try to simplify it, make it simple. So keep as it is, 18.5 into 5. Now here if you look here, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. Now this is going to be 15 into 0.5. Okay. Now this is nothing but sum of how many? Sum of 5 students. Now you are supposed to find average. As you are supposed to find average, so divide by 5. Okay. When you are dividing it by 5, make sure that your calculation is going to be simple. So 5 cancels in 5. How many times? 1 time. 15 cancels in 5. How many times? 3 times. So when you're simplifying it, it is going to be 18.5 into 1 is like 18.5. Similarly, 3 into 0.5 is nothing but 1.5. So minus 1.5. So we can say that average is going to be 17 years. Okay. So answer for this question is like 17 years. Very, very simple question. Just follow the concept whatever we have discussed earlier. When you simplify this one, it is going to be 18.5 minus 1.5. So 18.5 minus 1.5, answer is going to be 17 years. Let us look at the next question. So your next question is, the average age of 40 students of a class is 18 years. When 20 new students are admitted to the same class, the average age of the students of the class is increased by 6 months. The average age of newly admitted students is, we are supposed to find the average of newly admitted students. Total how many students are there initially? 40 students. Now for this 40 students, what is the average? Average is like 18 years. When 20 new students are admitted, so 20 new students are admitted means total it is going to be 60 students. Yes or no? When 20 new students are admitted, the average age of the students of the class increased by 6 months. Yes or no? Now this is increased by 6 months. Okay, increased by 6 months. If you observe here, initially it is given in terms of years. Now this is given in terms of months, okay? Either you can convert this months also in terms of years. If you convert this months in terms of years, 6 months is nothing but half, that is like 0.5 years. Why? Because 12 months is 1 year, then 6 months will be half of 1 year, that is 0.5, which is going to be 18.5. Now your question is to find average of newly admitted students. Simple, calculate it. 50 and 60, difference is how much? 20, so plus 20. So left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. Now this is going to be 20 into 18.5. Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. So this is going to be plus 20. Sorry, it is going to be 0.5 into 40, it is nothing but 20. Now they are asking us to calculate average. As they are asking us to calculate average, total how many percents are there? 20%. So calculate 20 cancels in 20 one time, 20 cancels in 20 one time. So 18.5 plus 1. So our answer is going to be 19.5 years. So 19.5 years is same as 19 years 6 months, which is like option 2. Very simple. And look here, don't try to make calculations complicated. If it is required only, then simplify. If calculation is going to be simplified, then it is going to be much complicated. Rather than simplifying it, what you will do, just take it as 20 into 18.5 plus 20. Okay, then when you are dividing it by 20, why? Because you are supposed to find the average of these 20 students, so divide by 20. When you calculate it, calculation is going to be simple, and you can find that answer is like 19.5, which is like 19 years 6 months. Okay, next one, the average weight of a group of boys is 40 kg. So there are some group of boys whose average weight is like 40 kg. After a boy of weight 58.5 kg joins the group, the average weight of the group is increased by 0.5 kg. Find the number of boys in the group originally. So how many boys are there originally? That was your question. Let us look. Let us say initially there are n boys in the group. Now for this n boys, what is the average? Average is like 40 kg. Now what happened? After a boy of weight 58.5 kg, so one boy whose weight is 58.5 kg joined. When one boy of 58.5 kg joins the group, the average weight of the group is increased by 0.5 kg. Now when one boy is added, now it is going to be n plus 1, yes or no? And what happened to average? Average increased by 0.5 kg. Average increased by 0.5 kg means initially it is 40. Now when it is increased by 0.5, it is going to be 40.5. Now they are asking us to find what is the initial value of boys, or like what is the original value. So we are supposed to find the value of n. Simply simplify it. First I will show you how to simplify this. Later I will show you how to say this question directly. Now n and n plus 1, this is like plus 1. Left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. Now 1 into 40.5, this is going to be 40.5. Yes or no? Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number plus 0.5 n, and this value is equal to this new person joined. Now new person joined is nothing but 58.5. Yes or no? From this we can say that 0.5 n is equal to how much? 18. So from this we can say that n is equal to 18 by 0.5, that is nothing but 36. Okay, so we can say that number of students, how many are there initially, means initially there are like 36 students. Either you can do in this way using the concept whatever we have discussed earlier, or else you can solve the same question directly also. If you need to solve the same question directly, look here, after new person joined, what is the average? After new person joining, average is like 40.5. But truly speaking, new person is how much? New person is nothing but 58.5, which means this fellow is having more than the average. How much more than average? He is having 18 more than average. Now due to this 18 extra, what happened to average? Average is increased by 0.5 kg. As average is increased by 0.5 kg, now this 18 distributed for all the persons and increased by 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. So total how many persons are there, means 18 by 0.5. We can say that there are like total 36. Yes or no? Either you can solve them directly using the concept of equal distribution. Just take the difference. Difference is like 18. So 18 divided by 0.5, we can say that answer is like 36. or else what you can do, you can do this calculation and you can get the answer. Okay, let us go for the next question. So what is your next one? Your next question is, the average age of n observations is 40. If one observation of value 80 is added, then the average of all the observations is 41. What is the value of n? We are supposed to find the value of n. Simple. Now this is same to whatever the question we have discussed earlier. So n% average is how much? 40. N observations average is 40. When one new value is added, now it is going to be n plus 1. Then what happened to average? Average of all the observations is going to be 41. Yes or no? When new value of 80 is added, then average is going to be 41. Now your question is to find what is the value of n. Simple. Either you can simplify it or use the concept of equal distribution. If you use the concept of equal distribution, what is the difference? 80 and 41 difference is like 39. Which means after new number is added, average is 41, but that new number is 80, which means 80 is 39 extra than 41. Now this 39 has to be distributed for all the percents. When this 39 is distributed for all of them, what happened? Average is increased by 1. As average is increased by 1 means each of them is increased by 1, 1, 1. So total how many are there means 39 divided by 1, which is nothing but 39. So total how many means initially number of observations are nothing but 39. Very simple question. Okay, just use the concept of equal distribution, you can get these answers much faster. Let us look at the next one. The average weight of some students in a class was 58.4 kg. When 5 students having the average weight 62.8 kg joined the class, the average weight of all students in the class increased by 0.55 kg. The number of students initially in the class were. We are supposed to find how many students are there initially. Let us example, initially there are n students. Now this n students average is how much? N students average is 58.4 kg. When 5 students whose average weight is 62.8 kg. Now 5 students whose average weight is 62.8 kg joins the class, then average weight is increased by 0.55 kg. Now 5 students added means now it is going to be n plus 5. Then what happened to average? Average increased by 0.55 kg. Now 0.55 kg means it is going to be 58.95 kg. Yes or no? Why? Because it is increased by 0.55 kg. Now you are supposed to find how many students are there in the class initially, which means you are supposed to find the value of n. Now either you can solve this question using the concept of equal distribution, or you can solve with the concept of left hand side difference, right hand side difference, both of them. Now if I go with the concept of equal distribution, now total class average is nothing but 58.95, but these 5 students average is nothing but 62.8, which means average is more. How much more? How much more means it is 3.85 more. Yes or no? 3.85 more. Now this 3.85 more for how many students? How many students means here you have a difference of 5 students. Yes or no? So this 3.85 more for how many students means for 5 students. Yes or no? Due to this what happened? Average increased by 0.55 kg. Now due to this average increase by 0.55 kg, so if you need to find total how many persons are there initially means due to this average is increased by 0.55 kg. Now cancel it. If you are going to cancel it, decimal point and decimal point, you are going to remove it. Then what happened? 55 cancels in 5. How many times? 11 times. And 385 cancels in 11. How many times? How many times means 35 times. So we can say that value of n is nothing but 35. Very simple question. Just what you need to do is like go with the concept of equal distribution. If you go with the concept of equal distribution, just to take the difference. If you take the difference is nothing but 3.85. For how many students? For how many students means 5 students. That is reason 3.8 into 5, which means I am going to get a total extra of 3.8 into 5. Now due to this what happened? Average increased by 0.55 kg. So divide it by 0.55, then you will come to know that how many students are there initially means 35 students. Okay. Let us look at the next one. The average weight of some students in a class was 60.5 kg. When 8 students whose average weight was 65 kg joined the class, then the average weight of all the students increased by 0.9 kg. The number of students in the class initially was same to same exact whatever we have discussed earlier. Let us example, initially there are n students. N students average weight is how much? 60.5 kg. Yes or no? N students average weight 60.5 kg. When 8 students are added, when 8 students are added means it is going to be n plus 8. When 8 students are added, this 8 students average weight is how much? 8 students average weight is 65 kg. Now due to this what happened? Average of whole is increased by 0.9. Now it is going to be 60.5 plus 0.9. Now it is going to be 61.4 kg. Now your question is to find how many students are there initially. Very simple question. Go with the concept of equal distribution. Now this is 61.4 and this is how much? This is 65. Now what is the difference between these two? Now difference is nothing but 3.6 difference. Yes or no? Now 3.6 difference for how many children? How many children means 8. So 3.6 into 8. As I need to find total how many persons are there initially. Due to this difference, what happened? Average increased by 0.9. So divided by 0.9. What happened? Then if you are going to simplify it, decimal point cancels. 36 cancels in 9. How many times? 4 times. Now 4 into 8, that is nothing but 32. So we can say that how many students are there initially means 32 students are there initially. Okay, very simple question. Just go with the concept of equal distribution. If we go with the concept of equal distribution, then you can get this answer much earlier. Let us look at the next one. Even this question is also very good one. Read carefully. A librarian purchased 50 story books for his library, but he saw that he could get 14 more books by spending rupees 76 more, and the average price per book would be reduced by 1 rupee. The average price of each book he bought was. So he is asking what is the average price of each book he bought. Let us example, in this question it is said like total how many books he bought initially? 50 books. Now this 50 books average price we does not know. Let us take it as n. Now it is saying if he is going to spend 76 extra, he is going to get 14 more books. 14 more books means initially he got 50 books. 14 more means it is going to be 64. Now due to this what happened? Average is going to reduce by 1. Initially average is n. Now it is going to be n minus 1. Why? Because it is reducing by 1. Now he is asking average price of each book he bought, which means we are supposed to find the value of n. Now due to this what happened? This is happening due to spending 76 rupees more. As he is spending 76 rupees more, he can purchase 14 more books and average price is also reduced by 1 rupee. Yes or no? Now either you can solve with the concept of equal distribution or you can solve this question with the concept of left hand side difference, right hand side difference. I will say you both these techniques. Observe here carefully. Now here what happened? Here it is like minus 1. So calculate this left hand side difference multiplied with right hand side bottom number. Now it is going to be 14 into n minus 1. Similarly, right hand side difference multiplied with left hand side top number. Now it is going to be minus 50. Now this value should be equal to 76. Yes or no? If you are going to simplify this, it is going to be 14n minus 14 minus 50 is equal to 76. So from this we can say that 14n is equal to 76 plus 64. So we can say that 14n is equal to 140. So n is nothing but 10, which means initial price of that book. Initial price of that book is nothing but 10 rupees. Okay, very simple. Just go with left hand side difference, right hand side difference concept. You will come to know what is the initial price of that book. Now either you can solve them in this way or you can solve the same question using the concept of equal distribution. If you go with the concept of equal distribution, if we observe here for these 64 books, what happened? Average reduced by 1. Average reduced by 1. Why? Because here I am getting 76 only. If I am getting more than 76, then my average would not have reduced. Or else, if I am going to get exactly the number whatever that is required to make it balance, then average wouldn't have reduced. average will be same as it is, but this 76 is less than my requirement. That is the reason average reduced by 1. As average reduced by 1 means each and every book is reduced by 1. So total how many books are there? 64 books are there, which means 1 into 64, I got 64 less. If I am having that 64, then it will be balanced. So what I need to do? I need to add that 64 extra. If I add that 64 extra, now it is going to be how much? 140. Now this 140, why I got means for this 14 books extra. So 140 divided by 14. So I can say that the price of each book is nothing but 10 rupee. Yes or no? Either you can go with the concept of equal distribution, or you can solve the same question using the concept of left hand side difference, right hand side difference. Any of them you are going to get the answer. Okay, very simple. Just try to learn the concept. Once if you are learning the concept, and try to read the question carefully, understand the question carefully, and then application of concept is going to be simple. If you are unable to understand the question clearly, then solving these questions will become really complicated. But once if you understand the concept, and if you are going to read the question carefully, then solving these pattern of questions is going to be very simple to you. Okay.